That's right, but Dragons, you saw it. I've chosen to DNF a popular fantasy series. Let's go talk about it. So I've gone back and forth on whether or not I want to do this or not. It's caused me a lot of anguish because this is a really popular series that I'm about to talk about today. And it pains me to think about DNFing this series, but I'm going to have to do it. And that would be The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, and of course Brandon Sanderson at the end. And I can hear all the cries of anguish and the shouts of anger now because I've decided to DNF The Wheel of Time. And I've got a few reasons for doing so, and I'll talk about those. But um, just know that I understand how ardent the fan base is. I understand why people are so passionate about this series, and this is just my opinion in this video, guys. You don't have to agree with me. I'm happy to talk reasonably with anyone about why they think I should still continue and things like that. But these are my thoughts and feelings on why I am DNFing the series. So I want to talk a little bit first about my history with The Wheel of Time. I first read Eye of the World years ago. Actually, I read both Eye of the World and The Great Hunt, just within a few months of each other. And this was several years ago, and I enjoyed them. You know, they were great reads. And then for whatever reason, I just never picked them up again. I just, whether it was I got doing other things or I started picking up other books or what have you, I just never went back to the series. And you know, I'm not sure why. I don't think I had any particular reason for it. But as I got on BookTube, I started thinking about maybe picking up the series again and starting it over. And then we got the announcement for the Wheel of Time TV series. And I'm like, oh, well, that's great. This is perfect. I'll go ahead and do a reread of The Eye of the World, which I did. I started it with a friend of mine named Elliot, and he and I read the book and discussed it together. I have videos on my channel for it and everything. And it was good. It was an enjoyable read. I did pick up The Great Hunt again and started. I got in a couple of chapters into it, and then I just wasn't feeling it, so I put it down for a while. I thought, you know, maybe I'll come back to it in a couple of weeks, and then I just didn't. And I didn't pick up The Great Hunt again. But I was excited to at least watch the Wheel of Time show and compare it to the book and things like that. And I'm going to catch hell from either extreme of the fan base, both from those who really liked the adaptation and those who didn't, because I was just kind of middle of the road on it. I'm like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was just kind of meh, you know. I'll probably watch season 2 just to see where they go with it, but it wasn't anything special to me. And honestly, with all the changes they made, they really did not do a good job of securing the fan base for the Wheel of Time, in my personal opinion. So I'm making a prophecy right now that the Wheel of Time will not last beyond 3 seasons. I'll honestly be surprised if it gets a 3rd season. I could be wrong, And season 2 could just blow things out of the water, and it just takes off, and it does great. And I hope it does. Even though it's not the adaptation the fans wanted, it's an adaptation. And it's an okay show. It's okay. But with all the changes they made to the show, it's not really a hard and fast adaptation of the books anymore, and so I'm kind of even less motivated to read the books, if I'm being honest. Like I said, I mainly picked up the books to start reading them again because of the show. And now that the show has kind of failed in what it set out to do, I'm like, I don't need to read the books right now. And I've got some other reasons for that. Number one, there are other series that I'm more invested in. I am more invested in the Malazan Book of the Fallen right now. I just finished Gardens of the Moon, and I really want to see where that series goes. I'm actually more invested in the Shannara series by Terry Brooks, even, than I am in the Wheel of Time series. So yeah, I've got other books that I want to focus on reading. The Dune books, I want to keep reading those. I just got several series that I'm more passionate about reading right now than I am Wheel of Time. Another reason that I'm not really into Wheel of Time is because of how large the series is. Now you may say, well, Chaz, Shannara's like 30 plus books. And you're right, but guess what? The Shannara books are broken up into trilogies and quartets. So, you've got 3 books or 4 books in a series that complete a whole story arc, even though they're part of the larger Shannara universe. So while it's a large book series and you may not ever finish them, it's not like you necessarily have to, because you're completing whole story arcs all on the way. If you read the Sword of Shannara trilogy, that's a complete story. And then you pick up the next series and you're following a different character. Still part of the same family, but it's a different character set altogether. So it's just constructed differently. Whereas the Wheel of Time, you're following more or less the same set of characters for 15 frickin' books. And I know about the slog in the middle. I think it's like books 7 through 10, where there's this just really massive slowdown in the storyline. I don't have time for that, guys. I'm sorry. I don't. It's not something that is extremely motivating to me right now. And notice I said right now. It may very well be that I will pick up the series in a few years down the road and start really enjoying it again and finish the series. Who knows? That's why I'm saying, at least for right now, this is a temporary thing, but it is indefinite. I don't plan to pick up the Wheel of Time again for quite a while. I've just got other things that I would rather prioritize. And it's not that it's a bad series. It's what I read of the stories I enjoyed. The magic system was fine. The characters were fine. It's not something I hate by any means. I just don't like it enough to keep going right now. And that's okay. I'll still watch the show. I'll see where the show goes. I may end up really enjoying the direction the show goes in the next season or next 2 seasons if it gets a 3rd season. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm just not worth paying attention to anymore because I don't like the Wheel of Time? If you feel that way, I'm sorry, but you can even try and convince me to keep going with it, and that's fine. Do your darndest, folks. I guarantee you I will not be angry at you. but I really don't think you're going to convince me. At this point, it's time for me to just put it down and let it breathe for a while and see if I go back to it. So, but yes, please talk with me in the comments. Let's dialogue together. I know this is an extremely unpopular opinion, an extremely unpopular choice. Wheel of Time fans will probably hate me, at least the diehard ones. What can you do? You can't please everybody. And it's really important to me to read what I want to read. And most people I know would agree with me on that. So I think that's all I have to say on that topic, guys. Make sure that you are reading more books, including The Wheel of Time if you want to. I'll talk to you later. Bye.